Video games as a medium are only now coming into their own as a form of entertainment. Iconic characters like Mario and Pac-Man have come a long way in this day and age, and the old shady arcades of previous years have been put into our own very living rooms. Regardless of one's opinion on the worth of video games in society, no one can argue that they are a powerful medium. Today's guest is an avid player of video games and is here to share with us his experience. The Humanities Communication Arts Department at Norwalk Community College presents The New Directors, the show that introduces you to television's future writers, directors, and personalities. And now, join our host, Robert Johnson, to meet the next new director.
Thank you for joining us for today's edition of The New Directors. All of the people involved with this program are students in the television production course and are directing, switching, controlling audio, and operating cameras and acting as talent for the first time today. The guests you are about to meet are students who, when not on camera, are behind the scenes working hard to bring this program to you with as few mistakes as possible. Each student will write and direct 4 different productions. This program will give them the chance to talk about themselves, the productions they have completed, and give you the chance to get to know them and watch their progress throughout the semester. Our guest today is who spends time playing video games, Our guest today is an avid video game player, and he is very interested in everything that goes into that. I would like for you to meet Ben Popalardo. How are you, Ben?
I'm good, thanks.
So, video games play a big part of your life. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, my biggest interest, of course, is video games, and playing games is just something I've done for all my life. It's just something that I enjoy, something I can do at the end of the day to wind down and relax. And I've been playing them since I was very young. I started playing around 3 or 4 with my parents had a Super Nintendo that they actually didn't tell me that they had until I was around 3 or 4 because they didn't want me to get exposed too early, but apparently that didn't really work out because obviously I've been playing for so long. But and then the first game I played on my Super Nintendo was probably Super Mario World, and that was just, I beat my first level on that, and I was hooked right then and there. I remember running into my parents' bedroom and jumping on the bed going, I beat the first level, and they had no idea what I was talking about, and they probably got annoyed with me for waking them up, but it didn't matter because I was king of the world that day. And nowadays, I play everything. I play hundreds of different games, for everything from like platformers to racing games, things like that. And I'm really big on Nintendo. Nintendo is my favorite company. They have the best games and my favorite kinds of games. I've got all the different consoles. I've got the Nintendo Wii, the GameCube. I don't have my Super Nintendo anymore, unfortunately, but I've got the Game Boys, all of those things. And I do dip into some other systems. I've got some Sony systems like PlayStation 2 and a PSP, things like that. Because I respect all the other systems. I just prefer Nintendo. And of course, I've got my computer, which I play tons and tons of games on because a computer can just hold so many, and there's so many more games for that. Now, over the years, I've collected upwards of like 200 physical copies or 200 physical games, which is a lot. I mean, you can collect a lot of books, but books are much cheaper than games in general. And on my hard drive and computer, I have at least 100 more. So I've got a sizable collection of games, and it's an expensive hobby because cost $40 to $60 per game, like when it comes out new. But as long as you have an interest in it, it's just something you keep going with. And I mean, I'm really into the culture. I love all the different characters. Like up on the screen, you got Samus Aran there. It's my favorite character from my favorite game, Metroid. And it's just what I enjoy doing. It's something I really like, and it's one of the things that drives me.
That's very interesting, man. So why or how does video games relate to your interest in taking the TV production course?
Well, actually, I was taking I have a lot of interests beyond video games. One of them is things like stage production, things like that, like working behind the scenes. And one of the reasons I took the TV production course is to get a chance to work behind the scenes on a production similar to something like this. I got to work on everything from running the teleprompter to directing, which is a great experience for me because I enjoy like really seeing what goes on behind a big production, and even like taking that to like the gaming standpoint, when you see what really happens to make a game happen. Like a game can take, most games, like a big production game will take 2 years, and it takes tons and tons of people. It takes programmers, takes artists, takes storytellers, designers, it takes everything. And it's fun to see like how some kind of production goes on behind the scenes.
Well, that's very cool. Um, what are some of the most useful things that you've learned in this course that you would be able to, adapt and relate to, interest in your career path?
Well, among these, like the camera work was actually very interesting because I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did, but really getting into like the emotion of like being able to tilt the camera up and all of a sudden that character seems more powerful, or tilting it down and they seem weaker, things like that. Little nuances to the camera work that really change the emotion of the feeling, or like how like the eye likes different things in a production, like different composition, like repeating objects, or like a fence going along the horizon. People like that, and like your eye, it catches your eye, and that's something I didn't really think about. And I think about that like when I play a game, the things you see, the different scenery, how like it's not just I'm running around stomping on turtles in Mario. It's like you really see like, there's a repeating background that catches your eye. There's like all the colors work together really well. If there's like a movie sequence in another game to show a character's emotion, it'll do that camera tilt. Things like that are just, it was good to really learn stuff about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's very interesting, man. Could you tell us about some of the productions you created, such as your action sequence and your nature project?
Well, on my very first sequence, it was simple, it was short, I was so inexperienced. It was probably the first time I'd ever picked up a camera. It was really simple. Just had a friend of mine basically walk over, try and looking for a seat. He finds a seat, goes down and sits and reads, and it was just, that was it. It was a very simple thing, but it was good. It was good to like put my feet in the water, basically, get a little sense of how even something this simple can be so hard. Like, I mean, it's only 30 seconds of footage or so, and it probably took a half hour to shoot or something like that. So it was fun to see like really how it works. And, this one is my action sequence, this is where I try to refine it a little bit more. I try to get more like cuts or cutaways. As you see, he's reaching into his pocket here, and I try to make it look like it was actually in time. Like if you see, it was all one action. He was all reaching his pocket, but really that was like 7 different shots. That one move. And like when he's standing up here, I had to take probably 3 or 4 different shots to really make it seem like he was standing up in one fluid motion. So this was a lot of fun to do with the action sequence. And here's some shots of my winter project. And this is where I was working on some of those like composition pieces I was talking about before. Like I got this shot with the raindrops along the rail, and that was just one of the coolest shots for me to get like the repetition and just the it's a little bit cliche, but to get like a water drop falling is just so natural. And I even had a friend of mine with me too. She was knocking on the rail as I filmed it, so that the water drops would shake, and I just added a little extra something to it. So it was a lot of fun to do.
Sounds like you learned a little movie magic there. Okay, so I know you had one project that you thought was your best. Could you tell us a little bit about your favorite?
Well, my favorite was definitely the nature project, because it was really the first time that I got to go in like on my own and do, like, there was no real guidance. I was out. I went to a park somewhere nearby, and it was fun to just kind of be out there in nature, filming things, not really have like any guidelines, just like go take some shots, see what you can find. And I mean, I went to a park after it rained, so I got the water drops. I had these. I've always liked the look and feel of like damp wood chips for some reason. Maybe it's from playing as a kid, playing on wet parks or something like that. But it was fun to just kind of walk around and be like, that looks interesting. I want to go film that. Or, I think that would look really cool. I'm going to go film this. And it was just that freedom to really do whatever I wanted to do with it, or to shoot whatever I wanted, or to try and just be creative with it, just do whatever I felt like. It was a lot of fun. And of course, I got some nice footage too, of course, like the water drops again. I really liked, a shot of the bench was really cool, because I started zoomed in. You had all of the lattices of the different this design of the fence and everything. It was just, it was eye-catching, basically, because of the composition.
Sounds like a backdrop for a video game you have in mind or something, right?
Maybe one day.
Okay, it sounds like you're learning a lot of things. Could you tell us about some of the most interesting skills and the most useful that you've learned, and how you plan to use them?
Definitely the most useful skill I've learned is working as a director on a production, because when you're the director, you have to know every single piece of the puzzle. You have to know what everyone's jobs are. You have to know what everyone has to do. and that learning to like have to manage and like not even just know your own part, but knowing everyone else's, knowing where all the pieces fit in, it's just what makes a good production. Whether it's a game or a movie or a show, even a book, like knowing, okay, the editor has to fix this part, the writer has to do this, the publisher has to make the copies. Just like knowing how everything fits together was just a really interesting skill for me. And being the director, being in that frenzied environment where you're running around going, okay, is camera 2 up? Is the teleprompter running? Is the audio good? It's stressful, it's frenzy, but that's where you really, at least for me, that's where I really start to think, where I really work hard and really get into it.
Well, that's very interesting. Today we got to meet someone who shared with us his passion for games and his experience in the TV production class. I would like to thank our guest, Ben Popalardo, for joining us today. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you for having me.
We hope you've enjoyed meeting some of television's future directors, and we hope you will continue to join us each week to watch our progress. Thank you, and good day. Yada, yada, yada.
This has been The New Directors with your host, Robert Johnson, directed by Samantha Zulo. I'm your announcer, Elena Rosna. The New Director is an Oral Community College student production.